can you imagine what the guitar player's going to hear this that couldn't make that gig? And he's going to be like, what? What just fucking happened?
He did what? Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Share the Backline, the podcast where at least two washed-up local musicians wax poetic about gripes, triumphs, and the mundane. I'm your host, O'Brien.
And Beardley.
And at the helm, we got Aitlin.
What's up?
All right, so I was going to write down an intro for our guest, but I thought I would speak from the heart instead. So this person, I've had the privilege to play a lot of music with them. We've been in different bands, spent a lot of time together. Even when I went on to play with other bands, sometimes he would tag along, and it was a lot of fun. I met him maybe like a week after I got sober, so he's been like with me the whole time while I've been sober. We didn't see each other for a long time, but came up here. We hung out all weekend.
Came up early.
Came up early. He is the most punctual person that looks like him that I know.
I'll take
one
it.
of the absolute kindest, nicest people I've ever met, and I am very honored to welcome Thom Arizmendi to the podcast. What's up,
That
Thom?
was so nice.
You're welcome.
That was like the best intro I think I've ever.
All right, now say nice things about us. Damn, I'm drawing a blank here.
O'Brien's really great.
It's you and there's a few people that I've wanted to get up here for a long time. Well, not a long time. We haven't been in a podcast for a long time, but I'm really glad that you were able to come up here and we were able to get you on here.
Dude, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Like I haven't seen you in so long, and it's like so good to just come and hang, and then to do this, awesome.
Yeah, we finally got to jam.
I know, and it's so fun. It's been literally like 4 years since we've hung out.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, and I think the last time was playing music, so like, seemed fitting.
Yeah, like every time we've been in like 4 different projects.
I know. We just keep trying.
Yeah,
We just keep trying.
we just won't give up.
No, never give up.
Yeah, we wanted to just get a kind of like an idea of how you got into music. You're fucking such a talented guitar player, like naturally talented, and you've got a fucking ear for it, like just the way you write and stuff. And I just wanted to know, let our listeners know how you got into it initially.
Well, started a long time ago in a small village in England. I went to a little school, and like in size, very small. And there was like a handful of kids that played guitar, and one of them was an absolute shredder. And I remember seeing him, and I was like, that looks like fun. And then that summer, there's a TV show called Kerrang! Or Station, and they would play hours of each band. They'd pick a band, they'd play their music videos for like an hour. And I'd never given Guns N' Roses the time of day until that summer. And Paradise City came on, and I was hooked. And so I got an acoustic. I learned Kumbaya and Scarborough Fair. Immediately
Did you
realized,
actually?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. My mum and dad were like, if you're going to learn how to play guitar, we're going to get you lessons. And it was from this... It was from this like older guy, folk, exclusively folk. And I remember he would do it in his garage. And I remember like sitting across from him, and if I had a guitar, I'd show you. But you know when like classical guitar players have the guitar like up on their left leg rather than like here? He'd do that, but he wore the tightest pants. And so it was just like guitar and just this bulge just staring me in the face. And I'm like, Kumbaya, my lord, like trying to give it some on the guitar. And I quickly realized that I did not want to play Kumbaya and Scarborough Fair. And so I went and got an electric, and then it was like Sabbath and Metallica and all the classics, you know.
Yeah.
So
All the usual suspects.
Yeah, all the usual suspects. And then like once I went to the next school, that's when I really met like, I'm gonna have to eat so many of these beans if the word is like.
Oh, yeah. I think we're good. We're not gonna do you dirty like that.
We'll do it on the next one.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Once I went to the next school, so like the village I grew up in was literally like 1,500 people village. That was it. So the school was just the kids from that village and like a few other villages, like hot fuzz kind of deal, you know? And once I went to the next school, which was in a bigger town, I finally met like other artists and like people that like were creative and stuff like that. And that was when I really sort of figured out like, oh, you can like have friends doing this. You can like get in a room and like make music. And that was like the first time you get that feeling, you know, when you're like in a room playing and suddenly it all clicks and you're like, oh, did we just do that?
Are we Guns N' Roses?
I think we are, but we were called Electric Sweat with K's. So hard.
So metal.
And we played like Thin Lizzy covers and stuff like that. It was just like we were like, oh, I want to be a glam band. It's gonna be so sick, you know.
Is that mascara? I'm in a band. Okay.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah. And so that's like how I started playing. And then, do you remember like the first show you play? And I feel like when you first start playing shows, everyone's like pretty timid. You know, it's like you're nervous to be up on stage. And so you're standing there, you're like kind of deer in headlights sort of thing. But like the first show where you're like, oh, I'm just going to let loose a little bit. I'm going to just maybe nod my head and like something like that, you know? And I remember it was like, you know, we're kids at this point, so we're playing birthday parties and like, you know, when your friends have a birthday party and you just play in the living room or something like that. And I remember playing and I like revisited the Guns N' Roses videos for a bit of inspiration, you know? I was like, I'm going to try it.
First mistake.
Yeah. The best part was it was a fancy dress party and I did go dressed as Slash.
Oh my God.
So there I am.
How though? How like Slash? Leather pants? No shirt?
Top hat.
Top hat.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, dude. But the top hat was I had a bowler hat, you know, like the little like round ones. And then I got black card. and I stuck it on top as a tube. And so I was wearing this like faux top hat. And I didn't have leather pants, unfortunately. I did, however. I went through so many thrift stores trying to find a pair. that was like a real goal of mine, but I never got a pair. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do what he did in that video. Mm-hmm. And that was the moment where I was like, okay, playing live is like, that's where it's at. That's so fun. Like when you and your buddies are just like going for it, and it's just like, I mean, we comparatively to where life has taken me and like the shows that I've played, thinking about that show as a show where we were going for it, is pretty hilarious. But no, it was the first time like you like let loose and you're like, oh, you feel it, you know?
Yeah.
And that just got me hooked.
That's when you
bug.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, when you fucking
100%.
dive in.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Water's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Well, because like he said that he came up here yesterday, and he was telling me that you guys watch Bring Me the Horizon, the one with the orchestra, and I was like just researching a bunch of stuff for later episodes, and I came across this like interview Ollie Skies did, and I told him, I didn't tell you. He was like 15, and he went to a funeral for a friend show, and I guess the singer got sick, and they kind of like asked like, hey, does anybody know the songs? And like he hasn't performed. He's 15. He raises his hand, goes up. He's like, that's when I fell in love with performing.
Holy shit, really? Ollie's like went up stage? Like
Yeah.
fucking
Like,
like
give me the mic.
this is like almost literally the plot for Rockstar.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said that's when he fell in love with performing.
down.
But over Funeral for a Friend.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, it's true though. I feel like everybody that's played shows has that moment where you're just like, oh, like that's the bug. Like,
Yeah.
I want to keep doing that. That's so fun.
I think standing up live and fucking playing something that you've fucking sweat, like poured your heart and soul into something with your friends.
Yeah.
And form that bond, and then you go up there and then you perform it. I think that's like kind of like a make or break moment the first time you get on stage. Some people fucking dive in and are like, this is fucking sweet, and some people are like, this is
don't like this.
Never
Don't
want to
like
do this
this.
again. Yeah, I'll just stick to fucking recording in the studio and putting shit out and never want to fucking go out. But we didn't have our last guest. He grew up in the IE, and me and Andrew grew up in like the SGV. Sorry. Me and Beardley grew up in SGV.
Oh, real name's been exposed.
Oh shit! No. They're gonna find you now. Yeah, me and Beardley grew up in the SGV and like Montebello and Monterey Park, Alhambra, and stuff like that. So we wanted to ask what the scene was like when, like, what were those first shows like? Like, where would you guys play? We would play like backyard shows, like parties and stuff, or fucking. Me and you have played in like a church basement.
Yeah, we've played all
Like,
over.
well, what was it like there? Like, where were you guys performing the most, like for local shows? And what was the scene like?
I mean, in those like real early years, it was little bars and pubs and stuff like that. But then so then I moved to the NG1, Nottingham.
NG1.
NG1, that's the postcode. Well, you got all your like
the area codes.
Yeah, you got your area codes. No, so once I moved to Nottingham, and that's when I'd like finished playing in the glam band, sadly, and started playing in this band Galleons, and we started in the little town, and I remember we were trying for ages to break into Nottingham to get shows, and then finally someone gave us this is actually hilarious. Finally someone gave us like an opportunity to play at one of the like clubs in Nottingham, and it was a metal fest, you know, like a little local metal fest. But it was called Sausage Fest. But
they actually had like artisanal sausage from the farms.
Yeah, there's just like a guy grilling on the back, you know. But we got that opportunity, and we went, and so that band was stir it, quiet.
This isn't an ASMR podcast.
Yeah, do it into the mic.
I'm a professional, baby.
This is showbiz.
I know what comes up.
Showbiz,
I know what comes
baby.
up and what doesn't. So
It's Hollywood, baby. No, we got this opportunity. Oh, dude, you mix that so good.
I told you.
We.
I'm sorry.
No, please.
We gotta give a shout out because we're using the oat milk. Shout out to Olivia. Halen ruined it.
I did.
Shout out to Olivia and Melody. They both sent us cereal. Like, so O'Brien is stacked on cereal.
Yeah.
Right now.
Dude, your cupboard is insane.
I will not
oat-
starve to death now.
And oat milk for days. That's what we're using to drink coffee right now.
Oat milk is the best.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's fucking
Sorry.
why does anyone
It is
drink
elite.
any other kind of milk?
This guy turned me on to it recently. Well, I mean, a year ago.
yeah.
That's recent. That's recent.
Yeah,
Sorry to cut you off.
No,
I
no.
just wanted to get that out before I forget. So.
I'm glad we went down that tangent.
Yeah. Now everybody's picking on me. Even our guests.
Sausage Fest.
I feel like that was like the editing cue. Okay. Sausage Fest.
So we got this opportunity to play. And so this band was like grindcore, like 2-minute, 1-minute songs, just all over the place. It would take us we were very slow writers. It took us 2 months to finish a song, and it was just painstaking. But it was we were invested, you know. So we got this show finally in Nottingham, and so we had 3 songs, totaling about 7 minutes. So our thing was just like, we loved like Dillinger. And so if we were going to play, we were just going to go 100 miles an hour from the absolute first note. And so we set up on stage, and we're like ready to go. And we like all look at Bill, the drummer, Wild Bill. That's what we called him. And he counts us in. And immediately I'd eyed this wall up, and I was like, I'm going to fucking launch off that thing. And so first note, I fucking run up this wall, jump off of it. I come down. In my head, I'm like, fuck yeah. And as I land on my cable, and it whips my guitar down. I go straight to the ground. And it's just, and so like first note, bad Guitar Hero. Just like, you know. And that
Game
was,
over.
Yeah. Nottingham, first show, boom. But then we just like did 8 minutes of just going absolutely crazy. And then we got another show, and it just snowballed from there. And so the scene in Nottingham was such a special time. Like, I feel Nottingham's this small city with 2 universities, so it's constantly got this like influx of like young people that are like craving just like finding new music and like meeting new people. And so it was always this like really awesome atmosphere. You go out, everyone knows everyone. It's just super fun.
And isn't the drinking age like 18 there? Or?
Yeah. So everyone's hammered. Yeah. But no, super like just a great petri dish for like people to create, and so many good bands that were coming out of Nottingham, and like that scene was just flourishing, and everyone was super tight with everyone, and so it was just always everyone playing shows together. It's really, really cool. And once we got into Nottingham, it was a lot of like clubs and bars, but then there was a few guys that had warehouse rehearsal spaces, and so then they'd throw like warehouse parties, and they were just absolute like bangers. They were so good. And yeah, but some of the like you know, when you're surrounded with other bands that are equally as great, like there's Mark Defiled were a metal band from Nottingham, Dayor were a metal band from Nottingham, Haggard Cat were a band from Nottingham, and like all of them just like so freaking talented. And so when you're surrounded by that, it makes you want to like push and be better, and like just try and improve, you know. It's like, well, they're so good, like let's try and do something even more, you know. Let's do it. It was like but it was like all healthy and like friendly and like good, not like sometimes the scene can be like competitive and like,
yeah, for sure,
kind of like toxic, you know. But it didn't feel like that. It was like just everyone was close and having a good time. And so that was Nottingham, and it was awesome. And sort of everyone got their like chances to like go around England and play, and it was kind of the same vibe. Like you go into each town, and it's just tight little like communities of music, similar to how it is out here as well, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, once I moved out here and I started playing with Wolves and stuff, it was 100% I found that. It was like tight little communities, everyone's friends, everyone wants to play shows together because everyone's rad and wants to hang out, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, speaking of Wolves, that was when you had just moved here, right? When you got in touch with Joe,
yeah,
singer for Wolves.
I'd been in America a year, and I'd been in LA like a couple of months. Yeah, and
did you come straight to California?
Yeah, I moved to San Francisco, and then
I'm sorry.
I've definitely got a soft spot in my heart for the Bay, but this is home now. Like I love it down here, and I moved down here, and then I can't remember exactly what it was. I think they may have had like a Craigslist ad up for something.
Yeah, I think so.
But it was like a bass player maybe, and I responded to it, and I was like, I'm not a bass player, but I play guitar. And I think I went down to jam, and I met Joe, and like, I mean, the rest is history. Like, I met you, and I mean, that was such a fun band to play in.
Yeah.
Just chaos. Like just absolute chaos.
Yeah, one of my favorite shows I've ever went to was when you guys played at I think it was in Pasadena, the VFW.
Oh, Joe got the ladder.
Yeah,
And he got yelled at?
randomly found this ladder inside, and then he got yelled at by one of the vets there.
Didn't you stacked some trash cans and then jumped them?
Yeah.
Was it that
Oh,
shit?
that was yeah. And
You
chairs
like,
and
yeah,
stuff.
you made like a line of trash cans to see how many you can jump over while playing. While we were playing.
Yeah, chaos. Dude, Joe would just we'd be playing and I turn around and Joe's like on top of the ceiling somehow and he's just like and then he just dives off and rolls around. It was wild.
Yeah.
Those shows were crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
those were nuts.
Really fun. I remember what was that spot in Palmdale? And it was like it had like a bigger venue with like I think it had a skate park in the back and then it had that smaller room in the back.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it. But that venue was the shit.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Like, because there's nothing to do out there.
No,
It was
everyone-
nothing, so the kids would just like pile in.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah. And Joe would insist on playing in the smaller room because
Yeah.
it was like it just gets so packed in there.
It's the best though.
Yeah.
Like those little like intimate shows, especially when you're playing like hardcore and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's a vibe. That is such a vibe. It's
I'm-
so sick.
I'm glad we have video of because when I met you, that was my first time meeting. Well, I knew Joe. I didn't know Marlon, but that was my
Yeah.
first time meeting Wolves. So I load in, we're getting ready, and then we're like the amps are already on and everything. And I thought I didn't realize you had an accent. I didn't know you were English. So I'm shaking your hand over the drums. And
Yeah,
you
yeah,
already
yeah.
had your guitar on and the amps were already on. So oh, nice to meet you. He said, oh, my name's Thom. And I said, Thom, nice to
yeah.
meet you. And then not until like after because we just started playing.
Yeah. We just jumped straight in.
Yeah, we just started playing. And then after we all went outside or whatever to just kind of like shoot the shit and stuff. And I was listening to you talk. I was like, oh, his name's
It's got an
Thom.
accent. My name is still Thom in your phone though, isn't it? Like,
It is, yeah.
like nearly 10 years later.
Yeah, I just never changed it.
Don't ever change it.
It messes with me because I always because I do the same thing like you when you try to tag Haitlin in something. I'll type in Thom and I'm like, what the fuck? I was just texting him. Where is it? I'm like, oh yeah, I have to put a U in there.
Yeah, I ended up coming up last night too, just to kind of hang out, meet him. Let me tell you, he didn't mention this earlier. O'Brien didn't mention this earlier when he was introducing him. This guy has some fucking stories that we're gonna get into, but and then just different things. You shot a movie, which is insane,
Yeah.
and we're gonna talk about that probably. Like this
part two.
episode is going to be just strictly probably music based because your music stories are insane, and maybe we're probably going to have to do like a part 2 just to talk about your directing, your writing, all that stuff, dude. But
I'm down. Totally down.
We have a great show for you today.
so
Stay tuned.
I'm just messing because between the three of us we couldn't get Apple AirPlay to work last night.
Oh my god.
Like it was
Apple
like
AirPlay is the worst.
it was like an hour. We were downstairs.
Literally. Like an hour.
O'Brien
we were
has
trying to
2
get to work.
TVs set up.
How to play on it.
His movie that he
Yeah.
shot, and directed, and wrote.
But it was just not happening. And then we'd get it playing and the sound was like a second behind. So it was like just mouths moving, sound coming later. It was,
Yeah, we ended up just watching it in here.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
came up here. We put it on the Mac, had it on the other TV. Like so,
Oh my god, yeah, that was hilarious.
they were sitting on the floor. I was sitting in this chair watching it. It's really good, and we'll talk about that. But
They asked me to unplug. We got it finally set up. Right? We turned the TV around. We were like all getting comfy, and we were like, "Oh, let's unplug the fridge so it's quiet." Which one is it? Oh, that one. Okay, unplug it. All the computers turned off.
Yeah, that was my bad. He's like, is it this one? Yes.
Yeah,
Everything
so
shuts off.
certain.
We're just sitting here in the dark with just the fridge going.
yeah, because we do our part. Everything is turned off at the end of the night, so we conserve
Yeah.
power.
Thank you. My bill's
So
bad
everything's
enough.
plugged into like one power brick, and that's what was unplugged.
That was the power brick that I unplugged.
But yeah, but I bring that up because like when you finally got AirPlay to work and you looking through the messages because he sent you the link, all I saw was Thom.
Yeah, that's all I saw as well.
It's like, you motherfucker.
You guys weren't supposed to see that.
Fuck you, O'Brien, you piece of shit.
That's how I met you. That's what I knew you as.
I mean, it's not too far from like how I pronounce my name.
Well,
anyway.
I feel that because I had a soccer coach who was from England, and he would say instead of saying Leah, he would say Lear. And
Lear.
we're like, you would say
Leah.
Lear. And he was like,
Yeah.
no, I don't. I say Leah. And he got so pressed about it. And I was like, Daniel, you said Lear. He goes, no, I said Leah.
I didn't. I said Leah.
Or no.
Yeah.
I did not. But I was bringing that up because when we first met, we just started playing, and it was like our first show together
Yeah.
live.
Yeah.
We have it on. It was on YouTube.
Yeah.
It was on,
How
on
special is that?
Joe's YouTube. Yeah.
Like to be able to go back and just see the first show we ever played together.
And that was, we had both not played live in a long time.
Yeah. We
So
were
those
rusty.
yeah.
We were rusty.
But
We weren't rusty.
we fucking went hard as shit.
Yeah.
I remember we walked out, we were both fucking just like dripping in sweat.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
we
like,
were
t-shirts just soaked through. We both came out and we were like looked at each other and we're like, I feel like I've just been in a fight. They were just absolutely beat up.
yeah. And I'm like, was it that, did we go that hard? And then you watch the video and yes.
Yeah. Confirmed.
Confirmed. Yeah, we can confirm. But that was just like, that was one of those moments that show like so much shit had happened between the last time I played live. You know, it was a completely new band for me,
Yeah.
playing with new people and stuff, and then finally playing live again. And it was just one of those nights where it was a fucking special night, like just
Yeah.
like letting everything out. And I remember there were times where we like fucking locked eyes, where we're
Yeah.
just like,
It was like kind of romantic.
where we were, like we felt like we were in the fucking ring, like just going
Like
at it.
all this, 100. That's such a good analogy. Yeah, it was like we were in the middle of this like just absolute chaos, and we'd like look to each other and we're like, "Are you good, bro?
You want to do another one?
Yeah, we'll do another song." Yeah, yeah. That was such a fun. That was such a fun show. But like that moment in time, like those were some of the first shows I ever played in America, and just I'll never forget that. You know, it's like coming to a completely new country and then like finding your people again and like getting to do the thing that you all love and that you've all piled so much work and like effort and energy and passion into it, and you become a family, and then you just get to go and like share it with everyone, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, look what we've got, look what we found. You know.
We're hanging out. We made these songs by accident.
Yeah. Dude, some of the stuff like maybe it just happened on the spot.
Yeah. All of it happened
All
on
of
this
it.
spot.
Well, I mean, you guys picked up right where you left off. You guys wrote a song today
Yeah.
before I got here.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, it is. Just, it is just like so. It was we even after Wolves, you weren't in Wolves anymore, but me and you would still hang out, and like write and stuff. And it was like in my room at my parents' house.
Yeah.
fucking.
We've always had good like chemistry for writing music. It's always been very easy. Like we can just like jump into a room and like you'll start playing a beat or I'll start playing a riff, and then before like 30 seconds passes and we're locked in, and we're just like a couple of hours later and
There's a song.
There's a song.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really nice to fucking have somebody up here to like jamming out. And then when you came up, I had my acoustic guitar, handed it to you, and fucking we just
Getting some Radiohead in.
yeah, we finally jammed together.
Yeah. I'm scared.
I can't believe that you two haven't jammed before
No,
that.
well, I like I told you last night, it's gonna be a year. Like, you know, we've known each other for forever. Like just but in passing, or
Yeah,
we'll talk. A lot of it was like probably Pokemon Go or talking about like hockey or some shit.
Yeah.
But it's been like it's almost next Thursday, right? Is it 13th? I think, or Wednesday. That's like his 1 year anniversary of like starting to work with me.
Yeah.
And that's like the 1 year anniversary of us just seeing each other almost every single day.
That's
Being
awesome.
housewives together, work
Yeah,
wives
yeah.
together.
yeah.
And once the podcast started, it was like 6 days a week I would see this guy.
Yeah.
Like
That's so sick. That's like going so hard at it.
It's like being on tour.
Yeah, 100%.
well, I mean, the places we fucking drive for work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are in the car, like
Yeah, it does
get to
feel a
know
little
each
bit
other
like
real well in the car.
I mean, that's how we came up with the podcast idea. I'm like, because we're just vibing, and
Yeah.
this guy's easy to get along with, and
Well, yeah.
it took a while.
but yeah, that chemistry you guys have musically, like we have that for
Yeah.
this. I feel, and just shooting the shit, and he'll make fun of me, dude. Friday,
He'll make fun of me.
He already has something ready to go. Like he's Friday, got it locked and loaded.
Friday, this fucking guy,
I was in a real shit talking mood.
Ooh.
all fucking day. We're lucky that we got out early because he could have kept going.
Oh
You're
my
like
god.
you're pulling back up at work. You're crying. You're just laughing.
All fucking day. He was just talking shit all day.
You should
Yeah.
just gave it back to him and gave him a cold can of soup.
Hey, I'm like, thank you. I don't know what I did to deserve this. No, yeah, he was. Yeah, he finally like had enough. He's like, dude, what's with you today? And then I started laughing. I was like, damn, I am in a fucking shit talking mood today.
He was late. He was fucking just shit talking.
No, but the reason we hadn't jammed before is we didn't know because, well, you know, like getting in a room with somebody, it can be like, if you have those differences, if somebody has a very clear vision of how a song is supposed to be and where
Yeah.
it's supposed to go, and the other person has a very strong
Right.
idea of what they want, and those, you can bump heads around.
Yeah,
What if
totally.
we start jamming and then we just like,
Hate each other.
yeah.
That's the
You guys
rift.
are just, yeah.
I can't see you this week.
Then
No
it-
more podcasts.
Yeah, then it
Yeah.
destroys the pod, it destroys work, just because we're gonna fucking finish a 2-minute song.
You talk to your boss. I don't want to work with him anymore.
You find me
Why?
a new partner, please.
Then you have
well,
to explain why.
Yeah. It's emotional. I can't go into
Well,
it.
the bridge was supposed to start after this verse.
It's like, oh, fuck. Yeah, we're nicknamed the Beach Boys at work too. 'Cause
Yeah.
Why?
We all play music.
Oh, okay.
The owner of the company nicknamed us the Beach Boys
Yeah, we're like, God damn.
because they're close to the beach and
Yeah.
play music, so we're the Beach Boys. So they all know we play music, but yeah, that was the first time like actually jamming together. And then I'll be honest, I was like super uncomfortable because I haven't really played in front of anybody like years,
Yeah.
like at least 5 years before my daughter was born, or like when my daughter was born. That was the last time I played with anybody else and jamming. I'm just like, oh. And then you're like, oh, it's this chord, this chord. I'm like, I don't know chords. I'm not that good.
Me
Just
neither.
just beatbox it.
Just play it and I'll watch you and then I'll learn it and we'll be good.
I definitely couldn't tell that.
Yeah.
Like we all jumped into jamming real quick.
Yeah.
It was super fun.
Yeah, we were downstairs and I grabbed my guitar off the wall and he grabbed his and I was like, let's go up to the drums.
Yeah.
I'm not too good at this thing. I blew the dust off my guitar.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like it's been a minute since I've like touched a guitar properly as well. So I'm like playing chords and I'm like,
Instantly he got a pick stuck in it.
yeah.
Yeah, the whole time, like, do you have a pick? I was searching my house for a pick, and then he showed up, and he brought a pick up and find 3 chords.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it.
I got it out for you. So
Oh, you did?
yeah,
Sweet.
it's in there waiting.
You can take it with you, a little heirloom
Souvenir?
for a souvenir from the pod.
I'm gonna get it framed, put it on my wall.
Put it underneath one of the stickers. It's just the sticker and the pick.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
Get
It's
it
like
framed
the
and then
record.
put it back in your guitar.
Yeah. There's a little frame inside the guitar.
Just rattling around.
This guitar sounds like ass now. I can't figure it out.
No, but going back to the
No, go ahead.
going back to like finding your people again here.
Yeah.
It's we were talking about that, how music is just so transcendent, like for different cultures and stuff. And you came all the way from across the pond, and it was just like the scene was very similar, even though like Los Angeles is a lot different from like a small town outside of Nottingham, and it was just being able to, I don't know, fucking hardcore for me, like, is just that it's so fucking like welcoming and inviting, and playing with
100%.
wolves was my favorite because everybody was just like trying to help each other out, and and wanted to fucking just chill. I
Yeah.
still have friends from when we first started playing in Wolves, like people that I met like at that first show that were like I still have like as friends on Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just you watch people grow, and it's
And it's so rad because, like, I mean, specifically with those scenes as well, like, I feel like I've met so many beautiful people in like within that scene. You know, everyone, because everyone is so welcoming, and like it's kind of like I feel like everyone sort of shares that feeling of like when they're younger coming up. It's like the sort of outcasts that
Yeah.
then like find their people, and so then you hold on to your community so much dearer. And so it is just full of like really beautiful souls. And so then, like you were saying, like you still have friends, you might not see them all the time, but you watch them grow, and it's just like you can't help but be happy for these people that are just like seeing them like flourish, you know. And I feel like that's kind of the attitude as well within that scene between bands. Like everyone just wants everyone just wants each other to do well.
yeah.
Whether that be bands going far or just seeing each other succeed in living happy lives. And like it's just such a beautiful scene because of that. Like it's so cool.
And seeing it from the outside, something that's so violent and brutal.
Yeah.
You see,
No,
like,
100%.
people swinging their arms, like fucking punching each other and stuff, and then, like
Molly-whopping each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
people getting mollywopped. And it's just like it's such a juxtaposition, just like having that much love for people and then punching them
Square in the face.
repeatedly.
Yeah.
And then
I fucking love you.
yeah, for one song, and then
Yeah.
then it's all over.
It's interesting as well how like it just, I mean, it's not that interesting really because like it's pretty aggressive music, and so it makes sense why it like brings out that like sort of like part of people that does just want to like let loose. It makes total sense. But even within all that chaos, it's like you take a step back and like stand at the back of a room and you just see it all going on. It's like, wow, it's like crazy dance. Like
Yeah.
everyone's just this big ball of energy.
Yeah.
It's like in the cartoons where there's the dust cloud and there's like arms coming out and stuff, you know?
Tasmanian devil.
Yeah, totally. It's like, that's what shows feel like. It's so special.
Yeah.
So special.
That fucking energy.
Yeah, I mean, it must be similar to what like a Motley Crue show must have been like in the 80s, you know?
Yeah, no,
Like
exactly. like that.
totally exactly the same.
Quick question for both. When was the last time you guys were in a pit?
Slipknot.
Slipknot?
I went to see Slipknot at the 5 Point Amphitheater, and it was the friendliest pit I've ever been in. Like, they were incredible, and
Okay, how long ago was this? 3 weeks ago.
yeah, it was yesterday. I came before I came in. No, this was probably 5 years ago, something like that. Yeah, my back could still do it.
What about you?
Probably same, probably 5 years ago, but it was thrice, so it wasn't that bad. We were gonna jump when we were gonna go watch. Why am I blanking on the name? I have fucking pod brain right now.
Nope.
I was gonna say Walking Blind.
No bragging rights?
You know, bragging rights. I'm gonna go see them, but we stayed out of the pit.
Dude, it was me, Raw, and Michael from Walking Blind, Elzabar. We went into the pit for Blink.
Sick.
And I just remember being so out of breath. One, because I'm out of shape, and two, I haven't done that in so long.
Yeah, like
And like just bodies and the heat, and just, oh God. It was the last song, so it's like,
There is that
Getting
fear.
bold.
There is that fear.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm fucking 38.
Yeah.
Will I survive? Do I have one more pit in me?
that's what's going through your head as you're walking through the crowd.
Excuse me.
My final pit.
Like if I'm going to the gallows, excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah, it's like, am I gonna be able to go to work tomorrow after this?
Yeah. The thoughts that like enter your mind the older you get when you're entering a pit. That would be such a funny like moment in a film, just like a guy walking into a pit and he's just like having those thoughts like, gotta go to work tomorrow. Like,
How am I gonna explain this?
yeah, the bruise
I
on
have
my.
ibuprofen at home.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick up some ice packs on my way home.
And then he doesn't make it to the pit. He gets hit before he makes it to the pit.
Fucking mollywop. Yeah. Just like two fucking feet, just drop kick him.
Brutal.
It's just like a blank shot. It's just like he's thinking, and then just goes black.
Yeah.
We're making that movie.
It's happening.
So after, so you were in Galleons, you moved here, you were in Wolves, and then what was after that? Vain and Valor.
Vain and Valor. Yeah.
Vain and Valor, and then I got to play with you in Vain and Valor.
Yeah,
too.
you did. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
We've just been bouncing around.
Yeah.
Dude, Vain and Valor was a fun band as well. We did some really, made some records that we're really proud of. And then moving on from Vain and Valor, that's where I met Alonzo and Jesse. And then we made World War. And so I was playing with them for 6 years. And so similar to what I was saying about when we play, how easy it is to lock in. It was the same thing with those guys. We just get in a room and just felt like magic, you know, the minute we started playing, it was like, oh, that should be a song. And then that should be a song. And that should be a song. And so we wrote songs.
Yeah, it's the best. Like when you start jamming and then somebody sets up their, at the end of the room, they set up their iPhone with the little recording. You're like, oh, check this song out. It's like,
yeah, totally.
I know what's going on. You show somebody
Sounds
else.
so
like,
heavy.
what is this?
Totally. I mean,
Is this a train driving by? You recorded? Or what the fuck's going on?
it sounds great, right?
It's good though, right?
And you always try and I don't know. I get real excited about those phone recordings that we have from practice. And so then I'll go home and I'll try and show my buddies. And I'm like, dude, listen to this thing that we wrote. I love it. Listen to it. And it's just that. You're like, sounds great, Tom. Yeah.
Yeah,
Really
good
cool.
We gotta talk about Tom.
You gotta be in the room. You gotta be in the room.
Yeah, fucking recording live. And that's the thing is that you feel that and you hear it in the room and you know it's in your phone. It's just not coming out correctly.
Yeah,
it just sounds like static and shit.
I mean, nowadays it's actually not too bad.
Yeah.
Those microphones are insane. They pick up so much.
Not mine.
Yeah, not O'Brien's.
So is that 2 cameras?
It's barely a camera.
I know.
It's barely one camera.
Barely one.
You want to get the 3 cameras, dude?
Whatever.
Dude, I
I
have
sucked.
I have 2 cameras as well.
See?
But look, recording live, that's I feel like that's the epitome of recording music. I mean, it's not for everyone. I don't think everyone likes the way it sounds, but for me, there's nothing purer.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely nothing purer than just getting in a room, plugging into your amps, and hitting record, and just going for it. There's no hiding. It's just
You either know the song or you don't.
yeah. It's
You either vibe together or you don't.
totally. And sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, it's just it's exactly that. It's if you do vibe together, you're capturing that moment,
Mhm.
and that, you listen to older bands that did do it that way, and that to me is such a special part of the listening to those records is that every one of their shows was different. They play the song differently, but you're listening to that moment in time that has been encapsulated in that recording. And it only exists that way
On that record.
once on that record.
Yeah.
And it's how much more of a little chapter into a little time capsule a record becomes then, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah, we were talking about live performances, and you had seen the Eagles, and they played, and it sounded exactly like the record. And there's something to be said about that, how talented and locked in, and how much time it takes to get that tight to be able to
Totally.
record it exactly like that, and then play it live a million times exactly the way you did it when you recorded it. But then there's also something to be said, I grew up one of the first albums I would listen to fucking was one of those where I just like I had the cassette, you know, somebody took it from a CD, put it on a tape for me, and I would just play it over and over and over. Was the Live Shit Binge and Purge from Metallica, where they're playing in Mexico City, and the songs sound nothing like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's when I started to realize, like, when you play a song a million times, you kind of get tired of it, so you start to improvise a little bit, and you're vibing, you're on the stage, probably hammered or, you know, whatever else, and you just kind of want to have fun and play things differently. So I always look forward to live versions of songs, is when they switch it up. But then when they record live, that's also a live version of that, because they'll never play it like that again.
Totally.
Every time it's like playing a new song or finding something different. And I don't it's almost like, you know, people say in science, like it's kind of like a badge of honor to change your mind about something. It's kind of the same way I feel about music. When you play a song so many times and then another time you hear something different, like, I should have put this on the record, but I have an opportunity to do it every night. So like, I'm going to play this song this way now, because it kind of sounds cool. And also giving people, you know, when somebody has a residency and you see them every night and they're playing the same set and every song sounds exactly the same, it's nice to be able to hear a song and hear it again for the first time. Like, wow, that does sound cool. Like, let me switch it up a little bit.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to add to that, and just like, I was going to kind of segue into the next story, but if you have something to add to that. Please.
Oh, I was just going to say that, like, you don't work at music, you play it.
Yeah.
And, like, it should just be play. And so, like, even, like, it's an insane feat for a band to be able to be, like, record perfect live. That is incredible. And, like, the musicianship involved in doing that is amazing and undeniable. But to then have the freedom and for everyone to be on the same page of, like, we've written this song and we're going to go and play it, but just so you know, everyone has the freedom to just express. Like, and that part of playing music is, like, so special.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like, there's few things in the world that you get to do that and, like, do it so frequently, you know? It's really cool.
Yeah, to have that thing where it's like, just don't miss these cues and don't just go off time, but for the rest of it, just fucking have fun.
Yeah.
So fucking dance, like, whatever. Like,
yeah,
have fun with it. So you had, speaking of recording live.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to say, because we talked at length last night about, you know, playing live and stuff and recording live. And I think you had, like, the opportunity to record live, and it fucking blew my mind. Like,
blew my mind.
Yeah, it blew my mind. You think you know a guy. he shows up with this story. I'm like, wait, what? When did this happen?
No. He didn't even tell me the story. Like, when I first walked in, he told me, he's like, you wait till you hear this story. I was like, okay. And we were talking about, like, we're going to act like it's our first time, but dude, I don't even think we have to act, because this story is just fucking crazy. Even after seeing the pictures and stuff, dude. Just start at the beginning.
So you had an opportunity to record live in one of the most prestigious studios or places. It's like a mecca of music.
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity to do that, and you did it. So tell us, walk us through that.
He's like, no, I don't want to.
Like, you just told the whole story. I showed up, I played, whatever.
This has been great, guys. I played on the moon. Yeah, so
There's no gravity on the moon.
I could tell you for a fact. No, so my buddy was playing bass for this English musician called Cav in LA. And they had a show coming up on the Monday. I got a phone call. Hey, our guitar player can't make it. Can you fill in? And so I was like, sure. I got nothing going on, and sounds like fun. I always enjoy. Dustin is his name. He's an incredible bass player. Played at, do you know the band Pariah?
Mm-hmm.
He played in that. He was in Pariah, and he's just like this wizard. And so he asked me if I wanted to play the show with him. I said yes. They sent me over the songs, and they were like Brit rock party tracks, like the most fun to play. And they said to me, like, just don't worry about making it perfect, just have fun and play. So I was like, okay, sounds great. So learn the songs. Friday night, I go have a rehearsal. It's awesome, really cool. Like, everyone's super sound, and like, it's a good time, and it sounds great. And we've got like a 6-piece band, 2 keyboard players, 3 guitar players. It's absolute freaking wall of sound. So fun. And so he's like, okay, just turn up at the venue. And I was like, okay. So I turn up at the venue. And we're playing at the Regent. And I was expecting it to be a bar, just like a little bar. And then I turn up there and I'm like, this is not a little bar. This is a really, like, I love the Regent. This is a sweet venue. And so we set up, we go to play, and like walk out, and it's just like front to back and mezzanine just full of people. And the show was awesome, and it was just like so fun. And then afterwards, I like, and this is where I sort of like laugh about the story a little bit. It's like, it feels like such a cliche, but like afterwards I go up to the green room to drop off my guitar, and Cav sat there, and he's like, Tom, come over here, I want to introduce you to someone. And he like, so I go over, and he gives me a drink, and I'm like sat there chatting, and he's like, oh, so Tom, this is Andy. And I was like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And he's like, oh, it's a great show, like really enjoyed like what you guys did and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, sweet, thank you. I didn't do that.
Did you give him finger guns?
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, no, like I did. No, so that was that. I left, and then my buddy came up to me. He was like, "Do you know who that was?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "That was Andy Rourke. That was the bassist of the Smiths." I was like, "Oh, oh, okay." And so that was the end of that night. And so we go our separate ways. And then I played a couple more shows with Cav. Really fun, like still a good time. Put that down. And so then I'm at work. I'm on set. And I get this phone call. And it's Cav. And he's like, hey, what are you up to this Friday? And I was like, nothing. He was like, do you want to jam? I'm like, yeah, sounds good. I'm always down to play some music, you know, that sounds great. And so as we established earlier, I'm punctual. So I got to the studio like first, and I go in, I like load up all my gear, and then the door swings open. I'm like noodling around. The door swings open, and Andy walks in carrying his bass. He's like, says hello, and I'm like, okay, cool. And then he sets up and he starts jamming. Like, he and I just like sitting there just jamming. I'm like, sick, you're an incredible bass player and you're playing really rad bass lines. This is really fun. And then everyone else came, and that's when it was ruined. No, everyone else came, and we like jammed for like 3 hours, wrote a couple of songs, and it was a really good time. And then like a month later, Cav hits me up again. He's like, hey, do you want to come down to this studio and record the tracks that we wrote? And I was like, sure, sounds great. And I feel like I say that a lot. Sounds great. Everything sounds great. And so again, I go down to the studio, and it's like beautiful, like old studio, all these old amps, killer. We record the songs. They sound super fun, like really good time. I leave. Then I don't hear anything for a while. And then I am at work again. My phone rings again. I answer it again. I say hello again now. And so it's Cav, and he's like, hey, how you doing? I was like, yeah, not bad, thanks. Just at work. And he's like, so you know those songs we recorded? I'm like, yeah. He's like, so we're actually like putting a band together, using them. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, like Andy's gonna play bass. Like I'm gonna be in it. We're gonna get the boys back from England. Like we're getting the band back together. And
Call
so
the boys.
I'm like, okay, cool. That sounds like fun. And he's like, so what are you doing next week? Could you be in England? And I was like, I could probably figure that out. He's like, okay, yeah, because in 4 weeks' time, we're going to record a live session at Abbey Road.
Fuck.
In Studio 2. And so I was like, sounds good.
Sounds great.
Sounds great. Sounds real great. So I went home, booked my ticket, flew to England. We were rehearsing in Leicester, which is like 20 minutes away from where I grew up. So I got to see my family and my friends, and we rehearsed like every day pretty much, and just got to hang out. And like, it was such a good group of guys. It was just felt like it was such a awesome vacation. It's just like, oh, I'm going to go on holiday to England. We're going to play music 24/7. And that's what it was. And we just got all the songs down, like really crafted them, and we got super tight, super well rehearsed. And then we went down to London, stayed in this like beautiful house, and then the next morning we drove over to Abbey Road, and we walk in, and we're like, we're here to record. And they're like, you can't come in until 11. And so we went down the road and got breakfast. And then we came back at 10:59 because, gotta be early.
The punctuality bit you in the ass.
You know it, And so we go in, we check in, and then they like open the door to the studio, like to the studio, but it's not the actual one that we're in just yet. It's the hallway. And they open the door, and you see this hallway, and like I said to you guys last night, it felt like Willy Wonka had opened the door to the candy factory, Like I walked in, I was like, this is really cool. This is really cool. Like as I walk in, on the left, there's like the reel-to-reel that like everyone's used. Like everyone. Beatles, like everything. And so I walk down the hallway and then turn, and you just Studio 2's there, and like you walk in, it's just like, this is where the Beatles recorded everything. This is like the literally as you walk in on the right, the piano that like of course I blanked on the name.
Podbrain. Hey Jude.
Yeah, Hey Jude. Hey Jude like is sitting there, and it's a working studio, so you can just
I'm
just
Paul McCartney.
yeah. I'm fucking Paul McCartney, bitch. and so like we set up, and then we spent like 10 hours just recording like live, just going through the set and just playing and hanging out and touching everything. But it's like, I don't know, it's such a special room. You like walk into that room, and it's just like, I don't know if it's because that everyone's recorded in there, or if it's, I don't think it is, because I think it's part of that, but I just think it's like I said to you last night, it's like everyone that's gone into that room has laid everything out on the line. They've put their heart and soul and left it on the table in that room to create these like masterpieces, and they are masterpieces that, and so like you walk into that room, and like, yeah, definitely that, but it's energy, man. And like there's energy in that room, and like you feel it when you walk in, and immediately you're like, I'm going to try hard today.
I should show up today.
I make sure my guitar's in tune. But yeah, no, it was such a awesome experience, and like,
yeah, you showed us the videos, and just like, I like the Beatles.
Yeah.
Along with a couple other people, they look.
Yeah.
So the room.
I think those boys will be all right.
Yeah.
They're gonna go far.
They've got a future.
Like the room, and you took a picture, and then you cropped it. Maybe if you send it to me, we could put it up right here or something.
Yeah.
A fucking arrogant picture.
Where it's like you're standing in the same spot with where Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and fucking John Lennon are standing.
Oh yeah.
And we talked about just magic, like what it must feel like to walk into that room. Like you said, everybody left everything there. And there's probably, like, as far as music goes, there's only few places where you'll probably feel something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know how about now, but like Sound City in LA, or Van Nuys, wherever, Nevermind, Fleetwood Mac, we talked about it. Abbey Road. I mean, it's Abbey Road.
Yeah.
And what is it, the basement of Capitol Records, where Frank Sinatra recorded and everything. Like, those are certain places where
super haunted.
Super haunted.
Just people leave fucking parts of their soul in there.
Yeah.
You open the door and the ghouls just fly out.
But they're just playing the songs.
Help us.
And like, unfortunately, Andy's since passed, and so to have experienced that and like been able to like stand across from him while he's playing, like it was just such an honor, like he's been so influential in like so many musicians' journeys, and he was such an incredible bass player, and like it's just such an honor to be like share that room with him and to record those songs. Yeah.
Can you imagine what the guitar player's going to hear this that couldn't make that gig? And he's going to be like, what? What just fucking happened?
He did what?
Thank you.
Thanks for going to work that day.
Yeah.
Thanks for dropping your parents off at the airport.
Totally.
Dude, when you were telling me that story, I was like, okay. I was like, all right. I know Thom. He's a straight shooter. He's not one to BS or even exaggerate. Like, this story is fucking bonkers. Like, check out these pictures. And it was while the airplay was working on the TV. So he just shot him up onto the TV. I was like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah.
That room is just massive. And then, as I said, like, they give you like the royal treatment, right? It's like you guys just loaded. I saw the hallway where you guys just put all your amps and then they just set everything up for you. So you just basically show up and just play.
Yeah. And like
dream.
Yeah, it was like such a dream. And it's just like grand pianos just dotted around and just all this crazy gear, and it's just like
And then you guys got to play a show, right, in London?
Yeah, and then I think it was either the next day or like a couple of days later we played a show, and then we played a show in LA as well, a couple months after that, and yeah, I mean the shows were awesome, like such a great memory. I'll always look back on all that stuff with fond memories.
Yeah, it sucks that, I mean, rest in peace, but it would have been cool to see that keep going, because we pulled it up on Spotify and listened to some of the tracks. We watched the live show and stuff. And it was really good. Yeah, it's like a kind of like Oasis, but more of like a throwback rock feel. Yeah, it's just like big and and fun.
Big wall of sound, like Brit rock, like it's.
Was that Blitz Vega, right?
Yeah.
If you guys want to listen to it, Blitz Vega, you can look them up on Spotify.
Yeah,
fucking good shit.
Super good time.
Yeah, my mind. You blew my brains out yesterday, dude. When you first told me that, it's like, I text my wife. I'm like, you're gonna love our next guest, because my daughter, like, growing up, her favorite song was "Hey Jude."
Yeah.
Like, kids will watch Cocomelon and stuff. But to get her to calm down, it was "Hey Jude."
Dude, good taste.
And Yellow Submarine, like she loved that one. And then, but her all time. Was Come Together, like the rooftop.
Oh yeah,
like dude, that was endless nights just watching that on repeat. And that's
a moment.
So like when he said fucking Abbey Road, because she has my cousin went on like a tour of Europe, just by himself for a couple weeks, and he stopped at Abbey Road. So she has a T-shirt from Abbey Road, like a onesie. now one of my boys wears it like every so often. But like when he said that, it's like that place means so much to so many people for
100%.
different reasons, and for you to get an opportunity, like I can't imagine. I told you guys last night, I'm like, I for sure would have imposter syndrome as soon as I'm walking up to that door. I'm like, I do not deserve to be here.
I mean, I definitely felt that. I mean, and the first time I went up to the door, I was not allowed in.
You're like,
So
this
you
checks.
weren't allowed to be.
This checks out.
Yeah. Confirmed.
You just go back. You just go back home. So I came back home.
Okay.
The maps.
It's hilarious.
All right, dude. Thank you for fucking sharing that story with us and allowing us to explain it. We're gonna cut it here for the, I mean, there's I'm sure there's so many more stories you have about music, but I do want to dive into the movies, and the writing, and pick that part of your brain on that. And we have to work tomorrow, and it's getting late, so we're gonna go ahead and cut it here because we've been over an hour now. So we appreciate you again.
Thank you so much, guys.
Whenever you're listening to this, please have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Yeah, have one of those.
All right, we'll see you guys for part 2 next week. Peace.
Peace.